All right, so we're back, and today um, we're diving deep into this story that, well, it's kind of wild how it all came together.
Yeah, lots of layers to this one.
Definitely. We've got news articles, social media posts, even some firsthand accounts to work with,
It really blends the personal and the social.
and the digital.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It all played out online in a big way. We see like a guy's whole life changing.
Yeah, and a whole community
Yeah,
impacted.
and all through social media.
Okay, so it all starts on a busy street in Cleveland.
Okay.
Our sources paint this picture of Leonard, this guy. He's 42 years old, and he's homeless. Like, try to put yourself in his shoes.
Yeah.
Lost his job, factory shut down.
Right.
His health's not great. Hasn't talked to his family in ages. It's a tough situation.
Sadly, it's a reality for a lot of people. We hear all those statistics about homelessness,
Yeah.
but this story, it really gives you a glimpse of the human side of those numbers.
Right. Like, each one of those statistics is a person
Exactly.
with their own, problems and struggles.
Right.
So picture Leonard sitting on a street corner, right?
Sure.
Holding a sign, asking for help. People are rushing by,
Hundreds of them, probably.
and then this teenager, Barron Trump, he stops.
Really?
And what happens next? It's not just some, quick act of charity. It's the start of something way bigger.
Wow. So what happened?
Well, the thing is, Barron, he doesn't just, throw some change at Leonard. He he talks to him,
Huh.
like asks some questions, tries to get to know him a bit. That human connection, it's really key to the story.
I see.
And then he does something totally unexpected.
What's that?
He pulls out a $100 bill and gives it to Leonard.
Right.
But he adds a challenge. He says, if I help you today, you got to help yourself tomorrow. Deal.
Interesting. It's not just a handout.
Right. He's making Leonard take ownership of the situation.
Empowering him.
Yeah, exactly.
What did Leonard say?
Well, Barron also writes down an address. It's for a local homeless shelter, the Hope Outreach Resource Center.
Okay.
Tells him to go there the next morning.
Wow.
Says they will be expecting him.
So these shelters, they're more than just a place to sleep, right?
Oh, for sure. They offer all kinds of services.
Right.
Job training, counseling, healthcare, the whole 9 yards. Things to really help people rebuild their lives.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So Leonard, he takes the money, the address, and that challenge to heart.
I see.
Next morning, he shows up at the Hope Outreach Resource Center.
He went.
He did. Maybe a little nervous, but also you can tell there's this glimmer of hope in him.
That's a big step. I mean, he could have just ignored Barron, right?
Easily.
But he went there. He took that chance.
Yeah.
That's what sets the stage for his whole transformation.
Right. He meets with a caseworker, someone who can actually help him make a plan. It's not just about finding a bed for the night. It's about figuring out why he ended up homeless in the first place.
Right. Helping him build a future.
Exactly.
And shelter. It does that.
Like Hope Outreach, yeah.
Hope Outreach.
But there's another layer to this story, something that blows it up, puts it in the national spotlight. Someone, a bystander, they filmed Leonard and Barron's encounter.
With their phone.
Yep. And overnight, that video, it goes viral.
Oh, wow.
Like, social media just exploded.
I bet.
You had news outlets picking apart the video, like frame by frame. Everyone's online arguing about, is this real kindness or just for show?
Yeah.
All this debate about, kindness and privilege and social responsibility, all because of a $100 bill.
That's social media for you, right? Blowing things up.
For sure.
Hmm.
But what's interesting is Barron, he doesn't say anything.
About the video.
Yeah. No interviews, no, online arguments. He just stays quiet.
Right.
And, people start talking about that too. Is he humble? Is he trying to avoid attention? Who knows? But behind the scenes, he's quietly making sure that Hope Outreach is getting big donations. Yeah, he wasn't just looking for, a quick pat on the back. He really wanted to make a difference.
I see. So it's a deeper commitment.
Right. And now this is where it gets really interesting. Leonard's brother, Paul, he sees the video online.
What?
And he's shocked. He had no idea his brother was in such bad shape. They hadn't spoken in years. But the video, it makes him reach out.
Wow.
So this random meeting between Leonard and Barron, it accidentally caused a family reunion.
You never know how things will connect, right?
Never. It's a good reminder that even when things seem really dark, there's always hope. Sometimes it takes something totally unexpected to break down those walls we build around ourselves.
Yeah, to let those connections happen again.
Exactly.
So this reunion with his brother, it's not even the only thing that comes out of this video going viral.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it sparked this whole wave of kindness all over the country.
Yeah, everyone saw what Barron did, and they wanted to do the same.
Exactly. People were doing all these good deeds. Remember, like those hashtags that were trending?
Oh, yeah. Kindness challenge. And pay it forward.
Yeah, exactly.
People were like competing to be the nicest.
Right. Buying coffee for strangers.
Donating to shelters.
Volunteering their time. Like, it was this emotional contagion.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, acts of kindness, they don't just happen in isolation. They spread,
Yeah.
inspire others.
Like a ripple effect.
Exactly. A positive feedback loop.
I love that. There's that saying, a single act of kindness, it throws out roots in all directions, and those roots, they spring up and make new trees.
That's a good one. I like that.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what makes this story so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, our actions are all connected, right? And even a small gesture can have a huge impact.
But we also have to remember, not everyone was happy with what Barron did.
Right.
Some people, they saw it as like a publicity stunt. A rich kid trying to get good press.
That's a valid point. I mean,
Mhm.
you always got to think about the context.
Right.
And Barron's background, it definitely made some people skeptical. Yeah, like some argued that true kindness, it's impossible when there's so much inequality. Like, could Barron even understand what it's like to be homeless? Or was he just doing this for himself?
Right. Those are really important questions. It makes you think about power and privilege. Like, can good intentions be twisted by inequality?
Yeah. And even if he was sincere, a single act of kindness, it can't solve the bigger problems that cause homelessness.
Exactly.
It's going to take way more than that.
Right. But even with all that, there's still something really hopeful about this story.
Oh, totally.
It shows that we can connect with each other, even across those social barriers. And that kindness, even a small act, it can spark change.
Yeah. And for Leonard, that change, it was real. The shelter, his brother coming back into his life, he really started to turn things around.
Right. He enrolled in that job training program, right?
Yep. Got his health back on track.
Started to feel good about himself again.
Yeah, like he had a purpose. It's pretty amazing. That's the resilience of the human spirit, right?
Yep.
And the power of compassion.
Absolutely. Leonard's story, it's a good reminder. Even when things are tough, there's always a chance to get better.
Yeah, to grow.
Yeah.
So this one encounter between Leonard and Barron, it created this chain reaction. Personal growth, family coming back together, and even a whole movement of kindness across the country.
Yeah, nobody could have predicted that. And that's what's so cool about this deep dive, right? Makes you think about your own actions, even the small ones.
Yeah.
We all have the ability to make a difference. A big gesture, sure, but also just, simple acts of kindness.
Right. This story, it makes you think, though, what about those with, money and power? What's their responsibility?
Yeah, good question. And what can we all do to make sure everyone has a chance to do well? What about the role of social media in all of this?
Right. It shapes how we see things, inspires us to act.
Yeah. I don't think we have all the answers, but this story, it definitely pushes us to be more aware, of what we do, how we affect others.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder, even when the world feels, divided, cynical, there's always room for kindness and compassion and hope.
Thinking about this whole story, it really makes you think about how much power we each have.
Yeah.
Like, we saw how one encounter, one act of generosity, it started this whole chain reaction.
Definitely.
But what about, the rest of us? We're not billionaires. Can we really make that kind of impact?
It's a good question. A lot of people wonder that. They see those huge acts of charity and think, well, does anything I do even matter?
Right.
But this story, it shows us that kindness, it's not about how much money you give or how big the gesture is. It's about seeing each other as people, and treating each other with compassion, no matter what our situation is.
So it's not about waiting for the chance to make a big donation or anything.
No, not at all.
It's about the everyday moments, like where we can choose to be kind.
Exactly. Think about the person who filmed that video.
Right.
They just took out their phone, hit record, but that simple act, it had huge consequences. Without it, the story wouldn't have spread. Leonard's brother might not have seen it. That ripple effect of kindness, it wouldn't have been the same.
Wow. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like even things that seem small, they can play a huge role. Makes you wonder how many chances we miss to do something good just because we think our actions don't matter.
We tend to focus on the big changes we want to see in the world. But real change, it often starts with those small acts of kindness. A smile, listening to someone who needs it, helping someone with their groceries. Those little things build up.
Yeah, they really do. It's like that saying, be the change you want to see. We don't have to wait for someone else to make things better. We can do it ourselves every day.
And the best part is, kindness, it spreads.
Yeah.
When we're compassionate, it inspires others to be the same. That ripple effect, it goes further than we can even imagine. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, think about this.
Okay.
What act of kindness can you do today?
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be anything huge, just a kind word, a helping hand, a real connection with someone who needs it. Remember, even the smallest thing can make a difference. And who knows, it might just start a ripple effect that makes the world a little bit better.